Hello everyone, welcome back to another video today. Today's video will be what if Izuku Midoriya was the Wendigo Part 3. I can't wait for today. So yeah, let's get into this. We start off after what happened in the last part, where Izuku finally got into UA. He was happy about this, and just hoped he could be a good hero someday. And there might be a cure to his disease. That just got Izuku's happy mood just into sad. He just couldn't understand why he had this habit quirk. You would have been okay if you were to just have a quirk that just turned him into a Wendigo, but the actual effect of a Wendigo, the part where he literally has to eat a human, not just to not go crazy, just he gets upset by it. But Izuku tries his best to make it good for him. So he always just tries his best, just hoping he will succeed. Izuku walks into a room. Izuku walks into a room full of students. He's basically the last one, besides two others. Izuku does not go to talk and just sits down as his horns just poke out in the room. Izuku doesn't mind the horns at all, but some of the other people are just curious about them. Izuku finds this acceptable, seeing this as a form of way you can make contact with people besides alternative means. And Izuku liked this. Izuku was surprised as their homework teacher came up from under the desk, saying that it took them a while for them to sit down, now that they can start their training. So yeah, Izuku nods to the fact that they had to take a test today, as he just learned to be okay with anything. The fact that if you had a quirk like him, you would just not be okay, and just follow what anyone were to say. Izuku did so. Izuku got a uniform up, and was able to get similar clothes to get his gym uniform on, even though it felt kind of tight due to how tall he was and the fact that he grew his muscles, kind of like in the original anime. But imagine Izuku being 7 feet tall, basically same height as All Might. So yeah, then you got it. Izuku walks outside as everyone else does as well. They do some basic exercises. Then it comes to a 50-meter run, I think it was. So yeah, Izuku goes up against Tenya Ida, and they get ready. And once the horn goes, Izuku runs out. Izuku is running on all four legs, all four limbs. using his back feet to kick off, then land, then using his arms to basically propel himself forward and then forward. Ida is outmatched by Zuku's speed. Then they take more tests till it came to the ball throwing test. Izuku was able to get score high, but not as high as Uraraka. Though he actually ended up breaking a window within the city. So yeah, I guess you guys can say about that. So yeah. Anyways, continuing on. They have lunch later on that day. And with the lunch comes an alarm. Everyone is surprised by the alarm as the robotic feminine voice says that there's villains on the campus. Izuku turns into his Wendigo form and starts grabbing all Class 1A students. And then jumping backwards into a glass window. Izuku takes him away from the school as he just wanted to protect his friends. So yeah. Everyone was creeped out and started screaming for help. And once Izuku got to an alleyway, he dropped them all off. As he stood up 15 feet tall, looking out, making sure nothing was wrong. But then he looked down and saw the faces everyone gave him. A face of disgust, fear, and hatred. Izuku tilted his head down as he got on his knees and bowed to them, apologizing. They all realize what's happening as Bakugo just snickers. See? Deku, you're always gonna be a freak. Even people you just saved are afraid of you. No one ever is gonna love you. No one. Bakugo starts walking back to campus. So does Izuku. And as well as the rest of the class. Izuku's just silent as the class is just talking amongst themselves. Just frustrated with the way they treat Izuku. He heard a threat and just ran off, taking them to what he would accept as safety. This was okay for Izuku, but they just felt scared when they heard a villain was there and they saw him turn to his Wendigo form. So yeah. Once he got back to school, Zarizawa was pissed off at them for leaving the campus. Until he heard that Izuku grabbed them once he heard a villain was on the grounds and took them to safety. He sighed and just said, "Good job, Izuku. You did a good thing. You get some extra time off." Izuku nodded while still in his Wendigo form as he kept it the whole time, making sure to be nearby his friends, or what he considers his friends. Izuku goes back to class as he starts writing things and starts writing. And the rest of the students are just quiet as they think about the way they looked at him. They think he saw them and thought they were just thinking of a monster. Izuku's eyes just teared up as he cried with but made no sound. The rest of the class just thought he was sleeping, and they left. Then once class president election came, everyone voted for Izuku, while a few voted for Bago, and Momo got in the middle. Izuku was declared class president, and everyone liked the idea of it. He was the class's protector, their guardian, and he takes that with honor. The next day, they come back. With the permission of Aizawa, the class threw a thank you party for Izuku for what he did. He saved them, or somewhat saved them, as there's no real threat, but once he knew that they wouldn't be able to get out in front of the crowd, he jumped away and made sure they were in safety. And I thanked him for this. Izuku teared up and smiled. Though they were freaked out by his teeth. Yeah, I'm pretty sure no one in the world wouldn't be freaked out by someone's teeth being sharpened like his. Anyways, they take the heroes versus villains test. Izuku is paired up with the Chaco and basically like canon. Except Bakugo is paired up with Todoroki. Izuku is thinking of a tactic as he is in full Wendigo form. Chaco then asks, why does he usually stay in that form most often? Huh? What do you mean, Chaco? Yeah, like last night I saw you training on the rooftops. And also the time when, last night when I was walking home, getting groceries, I saw you in an alleyway, then you jumped off. I think I might startled you. Izuku just gave her somewhat a scared and death glare. Then changed that. Yeah, you scared me. So, what are you usually doing at night? Oh, well, I patrol the streets, and if I see anything, I call the police, And when I try to do some citizens arrest. Sort of. Not really. Never. Oh, that's really nice of you, Zuko. Thank you, Chaco. There should be... I think that's her right now. Let's go. Yes. They run in and then encounter Bakugo, who Izuku starts fighting over. Izuku clamps his teeth on over Bakugo's shoulder and onto his chest. Bakugo has one hand on his lower jaw and one on his upper jaw. as they're struggling to dominate each other. Until Bakugo shoots Izuku in an explosion, blowing Izuku away from him. Izuku tries to claw at Bakugo, but the fact that he's tall and lanky does not help with the fact that he's in a tight space. Also, the fact he's claustrophobic. So yeah, Izuku tries his best to move, but he can't. He can hardly. But it's hard for him to stand up straight, as he has to be around 9. As he has to stand at 9 meters tall, around 12 meters tall, where he has his knees bent, but can still walk and run. Izuku keeps on trying to fight Bakugo until Bakugo unleashes a massive explosion, blowing off half of Izuku's blowing off 50 no around 30% of Izuku's body mass, which were this area of his body plus his arm. Izuku screams in pain from this, as everyone is shocked at what's happening. Momo is about to yell at Bakugo for what he did when Izuku uses his leg and stands up as straight as he can, as his body starts regenerating. Everyone is shocked by this power that Izuku has and weren't actually, until Denki said that he probably had all this time and just didn't have the time to use it. Izuku spins around and hits Bakugo with his tail, knocking over a part of a wall. Bakugo is left unconscious as Izuku makes his way up to the top. Where Chako is, she's fighting Todoroki, who has captured her. Izuku rushes in, horns first, and has Todoroki trapped with his horns. As he moves his head up, 4 of his horns jut into Todoroki's body, being these two pairs of horns. Jut into his body as he uses his right leg and kicks the ice under Ochako, freeing her, telling her to take before being halfway frozen by Todoroki. She does so and touches the bomb. Everyone takes a sigh of relief as Recover Girl gets called into action. She scolds Izuku for using his horns, but Izuku comes back and saying, "I would have done the same thing if it was a real villain. I'm sorry." Recover Girl thinks for a minute and says, "It's okay, you're doing what you need to do. But you, All Might, oh god, you should not be doing this. You should be putting rules in these matches. I didn't think this would happen. He literally has horns on his head. What makes you think he won't use that as a weapon or defense?" She actually has a point, All Might. You're taking her side? Yes. Anyways, Izuku, how's the arm coming along? Izuku looks at the nub that he now has, as his entire torso has healed, but he's still regenerating his arm. It's Going good. Should be better by morning. Oh, why? Well, you see, it takes longer for my actual limbs to grow back. Now, like a torso, that's gonna be easy, as a torso basically symmetrical, but a arm isn't technically symmetrical. At least the at least these wendigo bones aren't. Oh, okay. Anyways, see you guys later. I'm going home. Shit. It's okay, okay? Yeah, I'm okay. Bye. Bye. Zugu walks away as he's now back in his human form, grunting as he holds his stomach. Zugu runs into an alleyway and just starts throwing up blood. Blood and mucus. A bystander sees Zugu. This happening, yells for help. Zugu sees him and gets the urge to be hungry. Zugu reaches out for him, but it faints. Zugu wakes up in the hospital and feels all the needles within him. This makes Zugu go full wendigo and starts trying to break out of the restraints. Izuku is just dizzy as the doctors help him. Ingo comes in later, tells Izuku that he fainted due to blood loss and over exhausting his body, and to not do that again. Izuku nods and Izuku reports back to Yue what happened. The next day, Izuku comes home and everyone's asking if he was okay. Izuku says yeah. Ida then comes to Izuku saying, You should really clean your teeth. You're going to eat so much meat. What do you mean? Look. What were you eating? It still looks red. What the heck is that? Yeah, I just noticed it now. What is it, Izuku? It's nothing. I let special diet, okay? Oh, we're sorry. We're sorry if we disturbed you, Izuku. Momo said. It's okay, guys. Anyways, I heard we're going to USJ today. Our first field trip. Everyone cheers as they get into the bus. The same pumped energy as Izuku. But for some reason, they're given their hero uniforms. Except for Izuku, who is always in his Wendigo form. Izuku sits down inside his Wendigo form with his body arched so that he can fit inside the bus. Izuku and Momo talk for a bit about class president and vice president stuff. Until they get to the USJ, where they're disappointed as hell. I thought this was supposed to be Universal. I thought this was going to be the Universal Studios Japan. No. Why would you think that? USJ. Universal Studios Japan. Oh, God. No. This is the USJ built by the Pro Hero 13. It's supposed to help you in rescue missions. Okay. So yeah, 13 gives her speech. Then Izuku asks 13 something. 13, have you actually ever been to space? Oh, no. Humans only been to space once. Back, only been to space once. That was only during the Cold War. Then, in 2014, quirks started popping up, and scientists moved over to that. Quirks actually had helped with population control a lot. Huh. Okay. They all get in, are about to start doing the things until Izuku gets a sick feeling in his stomach. That's going to end off today, guys. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys tomorrow.